Welcome to our new, larger engine room. I'm going to show you around some of the new projects we've got in. We've not done an update in a while, so there's quite a lot of new stuff going on. So this is one of our new, really fun projects we've got going on in the workshop at the moment. It's the Singer recreation, so a replica of a Singer. This is the engine for it. It's actually originally a 3 litre, but we've put larger barrels, larger pistons in, and now it's a 3.2. We've also removed all of the fuel injection system and we're converting to carburetors. We've got these fantastic triple IDF Webers we're going to put on there. It's got a new exhaust system as well, stainless exhaust system. It's a sports one. And we've also got some uprated camshafts turning up as well, which we're going to put into it. Yeah, it's a really cool project. The next engine in the engine room is the engine for my own car, the Mustang Fastback, the K-code car. This is actually a genuine Hypo 289 engine. The original engine numbers stamped in the side of the block here. That's a particular thing of the Hypo engine. Also, there are orange paint marks on the crankshaft inside the engine there. And there's a polished section on the crankshaft with a little dent in it, which is the Brunel hardness test that they used to do at the factory. So you know that that is correct. I also looked at that crankshaft under a microscope, which we have here, to see the nodularity of the iron in the crank. And that's another thing we can do in a different video. Other interesting things about the engine, it's got, well, this one actually doesn't have the original Hypo pistons, as you can see. I went for a forged modern piston, but it's a very similar design and it retains the same compression ratio. I'll show you some of the other parts of the engine which are over here. So this is quite a particularly rare engine because it has, as you can see, this very interesting manifold, which is an original aftermarket Ford part. It has the Ford Motor Company logo on there, and it also has the Buddy Bar castings mark on there as well. Now, Buddy Bar castings made some limited runner castings for Ford for their aftermarket kits. This kit cost almost as much as the Mustang back in the day, and what it would allow you to do is to put 4 48 IDA carburetors on the top for full race spec. So you either were doing this so you could race it, or just really wanted every single bit of power from that engine. This is the head, the original Hypo head off the engine as well. So it's just been machined, had new valve seats cut. These are the new valves for it. You can tell it's a real Hypo head because it's got these 2 little dots here, which are cast like upward. And then also this detail here, which goes around the valve spring. It's like a pocketed valve spring. And only the Hypo head has these features, so you know this is a real deal. Other bits of the Hypo engine are the hatchet weight. This goes in the on the front of the crankshaft there to account for the extra weight of the bolts in the conrods, so they say. And because it had uprated bolts for the conrods, making the big end heavier. It also has a much bigger front pulley, which I've not put on yet. You can see here. This is an original Hypo front pulley, much thicker. The other thing we got is the original alternator, which has a larger pulley on it so that when you're revving at high speed, you don't over rev the alternator. It gears it down. So that's quite an interesting project, and that'll be going together fairly soon. So hopefully the next video, the engine will be fully assembled and maybe even in the car. Okay, the last engine that's in build at the moment is the engine for the 280 SL Pagoda, which we'll show you in another video. As you can see, it's looking pretty immaculate and factory finish. We've even gone to the trouble of replating all of the injection lines and other components in that gold zinc, which is like a cadmium coating. All of the components have been vapor blasted in our vapor blasting machine, polished, repainted, so it's pretty immaculate. Internally, it's all new pistons, bearings, all the normal stuff. So it's an absolutely fresh, really nicely built engine. Should be a great running engine. A couple of interesting things on the bench. This is a Winter's Differential limited slip, which we're going to shoehorn into one of the racing cars. So hopefully we'll give you some updates on that. But there's going to be quite a complicated installation. We've got to really heavily modify the design of the car itself to get this to fit. Further down the bench, we've got the Torbay Lago engine, which we've had a new crankshaft design for it and manufactured, much stronger steel crank. And then we've also got this girdle plate that we've designed, which will bolt on the bottom of the engine here, in between the sump, and it connects all of the main caps to the outside of the block and stiffens the whole thing, so that we can hope to rev this thing up to more like 7,000 RPM rather than its current much lower rev limit.